Good morning, everyone. What's happening? This is Gail Dudley with your News in Motion. Today is Wednesday, January the 13th, 2021. So how's everyone doing out there? Who's out here? Good morning, Pastor Alex. Good morning, Jacqueline. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. This is Workshop Wednesday. Hope you have your stuff. Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning, Kim. Good morning, people. How are you? Good morning, Lady Overflow. What's happening, girl? Good morning, Lori. Good morning. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning to everybody. What's up? Hope you all have your pen and paper or your smart tablet or however you're going to take notes. Today is Workshop Wednesday, which we'll get to right after we get through the news. Good morning, Hester. Good morning. Good morning, Kelly Lee. Good morning, Jeffrey Allen James. Good morning. And to all the men, I have not come to each of your threads from yesterday. I was just praying. Good morning, John Gore. Good morning, Liz Pryor. I was just praying about what to say to you. So I will be hitting up your threads from yesterday with a prayer, just speaking life to each of you, the men. Good morning, Marion. Good morning, Diane Ladybug. All right, y'all, we got a lot to cover, so I'm going to jump in. Good morning, Brenda Randleman and Latrice Jones. And let's see, I think I got Adrian. Good morning to everyone. Couple people who are tuning in outside of the live. Good morning, Shirley. How are you? Please let us know how you're doing. Good morning, Ann. To Annette, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Also, there are many people, as I indicated yesterday. Good morning to my sister, Patricia. There are many that I indicated yesterday who are dealing with COVID-19 that are a part of our family. So I've seen some of you come in here. So if you need anything, please let this family know how we can serve you, pray for you, assist you, whatever you need to do in this time. And we're praying your healing. We're praying your healing. We're praying your healing. I just don't want to pray for those who are experiencing COVID-19. Antoinette said Impeachment Wednesday. It looks like that's happening today. Anybody else who may be sick or dealing with any type of illness or disease, we're praying for you too. We're praying for your healing as well. I haven't seen Bill Palmer on here, but I know he started physical therapy. I gave you his praise report last week. So we're still praying for Bill Palmer. Good morning, Brian Costin. Good morning. So we're praying for everybody. But yeah, it looks like it's gonna be Impeachment Wednesday. It looks that way. So let's get started because this is Workshop Wednesday and I'm gonna give you a lot of content. But first, I have to give you the news. 7 days, maybe less. 7 days, maybe less. They tried to tell Buttercup last night, if you just resign, you can be pardoned and you can go on about your merry way. But no, he didn't want to do that. Did y'all see him yesterday too? Not to laugh at him. Did y'all see him? He was out on the South Lawn with the media talking about, I didn't know they were going to be violent. I don't know. That's like you talking to a child and you're like, did you do this? And they're like, me? I didn't do that. No, somebody else must have did that. No, Buttercup, that was you. You incited a war. Please pray for Taniqua Thompson family. I sure will, Deborah. I sure will. Please remind me, did she pass away from COVID or cancer? If you don't mind sharing that, would you let us know that, please? Thank you. All right, so that's 7 days. AP says that, and I quote, no American president since the Republic was born nearly 245 years ago has ever been impeached twice. Buttercup is about to be impeached twice. And they have the numbers. Now, y'all, Pence said no. Help me understand, Vice President Pence. Help me understand. Does he realize they came to execute him? Does he realize that? But he said no. He said he's not going to participate in the 25th Amendment. He said no. He goes, and this is a quote from him. He says, I do not believe that such a course of action is in the best interest of our nation or consistent with our Constitution. Mr. Pence wrote in a letter to Speaker Nancy Pelosi. He goes on to say, I urge you and every member of Congress to avoid actions that would further divide and inflame the passions of the moment. Is he serious? Well, where's that coming from? She had cancer and COVID. Thank you, Deborah, for that. And she leaves 3 sons, 4, 8, and 15. We will definitely be praying for that family. Thank you for that, Deborah. But I was just like, Pence, why? What? Division. Why weren't you speaking this division language year 1 of his presidency? What, remember Charlottesville? What's going on here? So this is also from the AP, y'all. YouTube, everybody done shut him down. I'm sure he doesn't know what to do. YouTube has suspended his channel for at least a week. They are concerned about ongoing violence. Google-owned platform removed content that was uploaded on January the 12th from Donald J. Trump's channel. It's just crazy, y'all. Did y'all ever think we would be living in this? Yeah. Capitol rioters, y'all, it's still unfolding. Some carrying nooses, bats, pipes, zip ties. They were second away from lawmakers who they sought to confront. This is still happening. This is still happening. But Pence still said no. Y'all, so this is Impeachment Wednesday. It is. Mitch McConnell seems to be on the side of impeachment. The DOJ is pursuing sedition charges in connection with Capitol attack. Y'all, 170 plus so far. It goes on and on and on and on and on. So that's just a little bit of the news before we go into Workshop Wednesday. Y'all, for those of you who are just tuning in from all over the place and you're on audio, you may have to come back and rewind this because I'm about to load y'all with some information that literally, if this is something you want to do, you're getting it. You're getting it right here in the short time that we have. You're getting it right here in the short time that we have. Before I do that, here's another thing, y'all. The first woman in over 70 years, since 1953, was executed. Her name was Lisa Montgomery. She was pronounced dead right about a little after 1 this morning. This is one of the Trump administrations. So they have been following through on all their executions. And I believe they have one more, which is another African-American male to go. So that's happening. That is happening. So even in all of this chaos, he's still executing people. His administration is still executing people. So that is still happening. The coronavirus numbers, and then we're going to get into some Workshop Wednesday. The coronavirus numbers, by the way, I don't know why I'm so excited about this. I don't know if it's that, we waited 4 years to see something happen. And I shouldn't say I'm excited about it. It's just that the news is like, this is really happening. So it's like all of us are being vindicated for what he has been doing for 4 years. We're being vindicated. And I think that is, and I don't think excitement's the right word. I think that's what's so eye-opening or allows me to breathe. Something about that. It's like everything that has been happening, for me, it reminds me that God sees everything. That he sees everything and he's still going to protect his people. He sees everything, which says to us, y'all, whatever we're going through in life, and it may not look good at the moment. We may think, wow, why am I going through this? It could take up to 4 years or longer. It could take time for you to be vindicated. It could take time for you to get on the other side of something. It can take time. So if nothing else, this has taught me that God is in control. Now, the other side of it is that, unfortunately, we had to witness what we witnessed last Wednesday, a week ago today. And no, I don't like that at all whatsoever. But look at where we are now. Look where we are now. So I just wanted to say that. So here's our numbers, and we're getting ready to get to work, y'all. Coronavirus U.S., remember I go to the World Health Organization. Confirmed cases, 23,369,732. 23,369,732. Deaths, 389,621 deaths. Deaths, 389,621 deaths. Recovered. Deborah said it took Sarah 25 years. It sure did. Recovered, 13,816,2 $13,238,238. Again, recovered $13,816,238. Those numbers alone are staggering. But we celebrate the recovery, those who have recovered this COVID-19. All right, y'all, I'm going to give y'all a second to get your pen, your paper, your smart tablet, smartphone, your laptop, whatever you want to do. I'm going to slow walk us through this information. I'm going to watch the clock. The girls are watching me too to make sure I end within the time I say we're trying to scale it down to. But I'm going to give y'all information. Now, I will share with you. The team said, well, mine in particular said, Mom, you're giving way too much information for free. And I said, but in times like these, we need to arm people with what they need. And of course, she came back with, in times like these, people can still pay for it. So listen, I overruled my daughter, which I can. So I'm going to give y'all some serious information. Do with it what you want to do with it, but hopefully it will help you build up. I'm going to be talking today about, and I'm just going to briefly touch on grants. Grants, donations, seed, sponsorship, and ask. Grants, donations, seed, sponsorship, and ask. So here we go. There are 5 components, y'all. There are 5 components to a grant. So I'm starting with grants. There are 5 components. And how does this fit into the news? Trust me, it does. There are 5 components to a grant. Mary Jenkins says, first time for free, after that pay. So there are 5 components to a grant. So anybody who's looking at doing a nonprofit or you're doing a pass-through, what's a pass-through? Let me give you that language. A pass-through, for example, I see that Mary Jenkins is on here. So a pass-through could be that if there are some similarities in what it is that you're doing and what it is that she's doing, and she already holds the 501c3, she may allow you to do a pass-through through her 501c3 while you writing for a mini grant or something like that, okay? Now listen, a pass-through, those are legal. A pass-through, you still have to have accountability. It's almost as if that person or that organization is doing the back office work for you, But you still have to show it. It still has to go on all their 501c3 filings, everything like that. So it is legal, but it's called a pass-through. Maybe you're doing a pass-through because you have a particular conference you're going to host. And that conference is a ministry conference or a nonprofit conference. It could be about food related or homelessness or human trafficking or whatever that may look like. You may say, I'm going to hold this conference, and through this conference, as I'm getting sponsorships, which I'll talk about that in a moment, I'm going to pass through this through another 501c3. I'm going to do a pass-through. They handle all the receipting. They handle anything that's through the back office. But if you find that you're going to be doing this on a consistent basis, then you want to go and file for a 501c3, which what we're doing right now. Then you would go and do that. So there's 5 components. There's 5 components to a grant. Hopefully you're following me. There are 5 components to a grant. And you can put questions up there in the thread. And if I come through there later, I will do my best to answer them. Similar to an organization. Yes, you're exact. Yeah. Well, Mary, you've been doing this for years. So there are 5 components. So the first component is you will need the problem or the need statement. And some say a case statement. What is your case? What statement are you what problem are you solving? What is your case statement? What is your need statement? That's the first component. Every grant, and by the way, grant is money. You're really writing a proposal for the grant money. So also understand the terminology and the language that comes behind this. Yeah, I used to teach this. Yeah, I used to do this, but I got burned out from it, so I don't do it anymore. I used to write them all the time. I raised millions of dollars writing these things, but I'm done with it. I'm over it, but I can teach you. I can teach you how to do this. So a grant, when we look at terminology, a grant is the money that you're getting. The proposal is the proposal that you're writing to receive the grant money. So you have grantors. They're called grantors. They are the people that are giving you the money. You're writing the proposal. proposal to the grantor, and the grantor is deciding they're going to give you the money or not. So they want to know, what is your need? What is your need? What is your case statement? What is the problem that you're solving within the community? Mary says, what? Why am I told you that, Mary. I told you that. We've had lunches. I told you that. I probably said it in the down low because I'm burned out from doing them. I did them for so many years. I'm burned out from doing them. So the second one, you want to have a plan of action. What is your plan of action? So the first one is you need the problem, the need statement. Some call it a case statement. Then number two, the plan of action. These are listing out your objectives that you're wanting to be reached. They have to be clear and they have to be simple. They cannot be complex. When a person is reading your grants, there are people who are called grant readers. I told you about that I have read grants before, and that allows you to be at the table. That gives you some sort of power to help get people in your community the money that you want them to have. So you have to have a plan of action, but it has to be clear. These are objectives. They have to be clear. They have to be something that you can truly obtain. So when you're putting out your plan of action, it has to be detailed, but it also has to be clear and simple. Make it simple. Stop using words that people got to look up in a dictionary. You don't know the word yourself. Just be clear about it. Just write out what you want to do. It says, please pray for my family. Okay, Diane, I see that. Your grandbaby's sick. I'll see that. Then the next one is the implementation. This is how you're going to implement what it is you're saying you're going to do. This section talks about the methods, the personnel, etc. Here's my implementation. This is the outreach that I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to put this program forth. This is how I'm going to put this conference on. These are the things that I'm going to do. Here's the personnel. These are the people that I'm hiring. This is how many interns I have. Here are the speakers that I will have speaking. Here are the consultants. Everything comes out there. That's number 3. And number 4, your projected budget. What are you budgeting? And y'all, be fair with your budget. Be fair. Now, if your consultant is charging you $100 an hour, put $100 an hour. Don't put $300 an hour. It's not realistic. It's not realistic. Poor implementation, evaluation, kill a grant. All the time, Demia. Yes and amen to that. So you have to put that in there. And also count every dollar. Travel is even going to pick up stamps from the post office. Travel is whatever it is that you're doing. Make sure you're doing that. Know what it is per cent. So 54 cents per mile. I don't know what the mileage rate is right now anyway. Nobody's going anywhere right now anyway. But you still have to forecast. So you have to think about that as you're implementing that. So know what that is. Projected budget, again, put everything in there. Number 5, your evaluation section. This will be the grant measurables. These are the outcomes. This is how you're going to measure the program that you're implementing. This is how you're going to measure the program that you're implementing. How, got 60 days, 90 days, 120 days. 6 months, 9 months, 18 months, 24 months, however long that is. And you have to make sure. So if you even look at the evaluation section, you have to go back and say, now, what's my problem again? What's my need statement? Who do I need? What's my implementation piece of this? What does this look like? Y'all, this is very tedious and detailed, but it's necessary. And I'm just giving y'all, I used to teach this when those of you who are in Central Ohio, y'all remember First Link is now Hands on Columbus, Hands on Central Ohio, I think. But First Link, I ran that whole department. I used to train on grant writing and proposal writing 8 hours a day. I know this stuff like the back of my hand. I know it. So I'm just giving you little bullet points to get you started, to get you thinking about what this looks like. Now, this is what grantors require in a project, that you solve a problem. Now, it has to be more often than not, it has to be a solution-based project. There's 4 components under a solution-based product. I know I'm going fast. You just need to come back in here and watch this later. And feel free. Y'all can hit share now because people out there needing this. Yeah, there are people out there needing this. So go ahead and share the video. Tell people, check this out, whatever that looks like. Yeah, First Link, I was the first, Deborah, I was the first African-American director. I directed the entire training and volunteer department, the whole thing. I directed all of it. I think I had like 14 people under me. I directed the whole thing, but we wrote every training. We did corporate training. We did training between nonprofit, and when we're talking about volunteerism with corporate volunteers, we were feeding corporate volunteers all throughout Columbus, Ohio, Central Ohio. That was a job that I actually loved. And see, I still do it, So there are 4 components under solve a problem. What is your specific target group? Y'all stop saying you're going to target everybody in the world. That is unrealistic. You can't do that. You cannot do that. So who's your specific target group? Are they youth? Are they teens? Are they millennials? Are they older adults? Are they the elderly? Are they those who are marginalized? Are they those who are corporate? Who's your targeted audience, y'all? And pinpoint that targeted audience. Don't say I'm going to do this. Y'all, it has to be so detailed because they want to make it realistic that you can honestly do what it is that you say you're going to do. So who's your targeted audience? For a board target group. So if you're working with the board, who's the board that you're targeting? Know who the board is that you're targeting. And then for staff to deliver better services. So solving a problem, it's for my staff to do better services, for my staff to be equipped to do whatever it is they need to do. So you're pinpointing each of these 4 things. And then finally, for the community. This is a community project. This is what it's going to look like. So on one hand, you have that specific target group, then you have your board, then you have your staff, and then you have the community. But what is it? The other thing is, what are the collaborative projects that are out there? Who can you collaborate with? What does that look like for you? How do you execute that? How do you move that forward? Partnerships and collaborations are key today. That's what many funders and many grantors are looking for. That's what they're looking for. All right, a grant maker requires a project that produces results. Are you going to produce results, or is it going to be the same old, same old? You can't just say, okay, I'm mad at this group over here, so I'm going to start something over here, and you're going to bring a similar proposal. No, they're going to send you back and say, well, this organization is already doing it. How can you partner or collaborate with them? Yes, collaboration is key. How can you partner or collaborate with them? So when they see similarities, they're going to send you right back to the people who are already doing it. They're going to ask you, do you know so-and-so? Have you ever worked with them? Did you go and share? How can y'all come line to line with this? They're not going to just give you the money because they already know that there's someone within that so many miles radius that's already doing it. So they're going to ask you to partner with them. It creates a model that can be used by others. Can you create a model that can be used by others? When you create a model, don't just keep it to yourself. Make sure you're allowing someone else to use it. For example, y'all remember I reached out to Fair Fight with Stacey Abrams saying, hey, how can this be duplicated all over so that we're all doing the same thing and it's not just on the shoulders of one person? And they're saying that they're looking at how they're going to roll this out. So I'm still in waiting, but not making up my own stuff. Let's go to Fair Fight and say, okay, Fair Fight, can you share your information? And I understand that they're about to do this, to share it. Add to the body of knowledge and the awareness. So add to the body of knowledge and the awareness. So let's take sickle cell, for example. Cassandra's normally on here, Cassandra Tauber. Let's take sickle cell for a moment. So if we're going to add to the awareness and the knowledge of sickle cell, how do we partner, and who else do we put within that group to come together? What does that look like? How do you build that so that you're having that position? And side note, and I know they're getting ready to send this to me, but let's talk about board development for a moment. You have to identify who's going to be on your board. You need an attorney. You need a finance person, so a CPA. Something like sickle cell, you probably need a physician. You may even need a social worker. You need to build that out. You need a program developer. Yeah, you do. You have to automatically identify who are the people that need to be on your board in the first place. And you build that board accordingly so that you have that. And also when it comes to a board, I wasn't supposed to be talking about board development, and I see them sending me text messages right now. Board development, you always want to have an odd number. Why? For voting purposes. For voting purposes, you always want to have an odd number. I wish cancer organizations were open to collaborate. And collaboration is key, Mary. I totally agree with you. They're sitting here saying you're giving way too much. They're saying you're giving way too much information. I'll deal with them later. I'll deal with them later. No friends. It's a conflict of interest. You got that right. You do not want that person. You don't, y'all. It causes so many problems. That's another story. Thank you for saying that to Mia. Then also, it creates material to be used by the greater community. Stop writing something and keeping it to yourself. See, that's something, and I'm going to talk about the Black and brown community just for a moment. We write stuff and we want to be an island. Well, you're wondering why it's not going anywhere because you're trying to be an island. You need to hire me. I'm for hire, Mary. I'm for hire. I'll talk about that in the ask. Hold on. We got to stop. We got to stop holding on. We're wondering why things aren't going out there the way they need to because we hold on to like, this is mine. We're so afraid of somebody duplicating what it is that you're doing. But here's the truth. What you came up with, somebody else has come up with already. It's not new. There's nothing new. There's nothing new. It could be a different spin or a different look to it. Y'all, that's where we are. They are literally saying you're giving way too much information. See, y'all can see I'm passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about it. So I can go on and on and on and on and on about it. So that's why they tell me they're not feeling Workshop Wednesday because they said I don't know when to be quiet. But we'll get through it. We'll get through it. And then the other thing is provide services to a broader group. So this is what they require. Grant makers require a project that produces results. And I gave you the 4 components of reducing. You said, see, millennial, she had to give something to get something. Gail Sharon will need to her hiring. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So there's that. Again, just go back through. Again, it creates a model to be used by others. It adds to the body of knowledge and awareness, such as I gave an example, sickle cell. It creates material to be used by the greater community, and it provides services to a broader group. So there's that. Good morning, Denise. So y'all, donations, 501c3s, tithes and offering, receipts or not. Y'all, that's what donations are, 501c3. Okay, tithes and offering. That's a donation, tithes and offering, whether you're getting a receipt or not. Okay, so let me just give you a thought. There's a thing that we used to do when I worked at another nonprofit organization. It was called Buy Me a Cup of Coffee. Let me just explain what that is. It was like, where you were saying, okay, because some people can't see that you can give a smaller amount. So we would use the terminology, just buy me a cup of coffee. So we would look at what does it cost for a small Starbucks, if you will. So this may be high or low, I don't know, but $4.95. So we would tell people, why don't you just buy me a cup of coffee a week? And that at that point, I don't believe Cash App was out. No, it wasn't. So they would just save up $4.95 a week, and most people will round it up to $5. So 5 times 4, they would then send a check for $20, and it will be earmarked for that particular person. At that point, I was a regional director for an organization. They would just send that check. That would be their monthly amount. It's like, I'm giving up a cup of coffee to bless this person or bless this ministry or to bless this organization or to bless. And there are so many organizations out there, y'all. Start thinking about it. Don't look at it being $500. Look at it being $4.95 a week and then adding that up. Or now with Cash App, you can just drop somebody. Again, we have Latrice Jones on here. She has an autism nonprofit. It's like, sending her a Cash App. Here, I'm going to give you my coffee money this week. I'm going to send you $4.95 Cash App for autism, for autism. Y'all, that's how we have to look at it. That's how we will switch and see a transformation, a paradigm shift, if you will, in our community. When we start thinking that way, Small group gathering, same thing. Now they're virtual. And what you're saying is that I believe in you. I believe in your work. I believe in what you're in the process that you're doing. I'm gleaning from you on a regular basis. So I want to bless you for giving me the information that you're giving me, whatever that looks like. And then becoming a donor or philanthropist. Some things that we think about or we don't think about, we're always buying gifts for people. Buy a donation, buy a gift. women's fund, if you will. I'm going to do a gift to the women's fund in so-and-so's name or so-and-so's honor. That's a powerful gift. That's helping that person become a philanthropist, especially if you have nieces or nephews or young people and you want to teach them the gift of giving to become a philanthropist or a donor. Go ahead and do that in their name. Stop buying the t-shirts, the neckties, the house slippers, and put their name on help them become a donor in a nonprofit. Yes. Cup of coffee. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there is one in the Maryland area. Yeah, that's the one that people use all the time. All right, y'all, I'm almost done. I'm hitting my time. Seed, giving to build. When you give a seed, you're giving to build. You're investing in the work of another. You believe in what you're doing, and you're saying, hey, come alongside me. Here's an organization, Kiva. It's Kiva. Check it out. It's www.kiva.org. www.kiva.org. What they do, you go there, you check out their website, they give you all of these new organizations, new businesses, and they're saying, hey, invest in these businesses. Now they're doing that. They're doing that they're doing it globally. And I started thinking one day, and I said, man, if the Black and brown community could just come up with something like that, if we could just have a foundation where we're doing something like that, it would be absolutely amazing. Now, the thing with Kiva, though, you have to bring, I believe it's 25 people, saying I already have 25 people who are supporting this work. And I can't remember what the amount is. I think it's $25 for each person. So you're saying here, and you're showing proof that these people have already sold into your business, your startup, your organization, or whatever. And then they help find investors and invest in you as well. So there's things like that are out there. Check it out. But here's something else. And I was kind of reluctant to share Kiva because I'm thinking people will just go to Kiva. But there's so many people within this community. And my encouragement to you is start sowing into the community that you already know, people that you already know. I don't know what it is about us that we will not sow into each other. It's the strangest thing. I don't know where that came from. But we need to break that stronghold and start sowing into each other. We need to break that stronghold, y'all. So then we get to sponsors. I'm almost done, y'all. We get to sponsors. Sponsors can be an individual or a business, small or large. Sponsors pay for acknowledgement. That's what a sponsor will do. For example, conferences. You may see names on t-shirts. You may see names on websites. You may see names on the programs, etc. They are sponsors. They pay to put their name on there and for you to promote them at your conference. You to promote them on their t-shirt. You to promote them on your podcast. You to promote them on your website. You to promote them on News and Emotion. It's a sponsorship. You are sponsoring to put that name, put that person out there. You're sponsoring for a product. Like, for example, when I did Paparazzi with Latrice Jones with her son for autism, Isaac. It was all about promoting. She was a sponsor of News and Motion, and that's how that works. You know, sometimes people give names because it's just a part of it, but then there's times you want to sponsor them. Y'all stop being afraid to go to other people to be sponsored. Sponsorship is key, and some choose to be anonymous. So if we are serious about building and bringing awareness to small business, especially the Black and brown communities, we have to pay to sponsor, give shout outs. For example, today, this is Nikki Burton. I don't know if she's on here or not. Good morning, Catherine. This is Nikki Burton. This is her work. My son got this for me for Christmas 2 years ago. This is her work. Her work is phenomenal. This is where her work. It's funny. I used to be Nikki Burton's from the beginning. Y'all heard me talk about that. I have a sweatshirt that I've had for years, and I still have other pieces by her. Well, now my son, I'm like, I was the hookup with Nikki. Now you're the hookup with Nikki. But it's no problem because I'll just go through you to get to Nikki. It's all good. But this is it. This is a shout out. No, she didn't sponsor this, but I want to shout her out because of her work. You look behind me, that's Lori Wallace. If you look behind me, the woman in orange dancing, that's Lori Wallace. That's a shout out, y'all. That's saying, this is what's happening. This is how I'm promoting. This is how I'm sponsoring. This is what I'm doing. Y'all hear me talk about Y'all hear me talk about Mike Nicholson with Hip Hop Fitness. You hear me talk about John Gore with mentoring. John Gore is an alpha, alpha, phi alpha. My husband's an alpha too. But his mentoring and everything that John is doing with mentoring. You hear me talk about different people. You hear me talk about Mary. Mary is a cancer. She has overcome cancer I don't know how many times. She has a heart for cancer patients, and for what it is that she's doing, it is phenomenal. Y'all, it is phenomenal. These are things that we have to continue to do. These things, y'all, this is where we go. So we have grants, donations, seeds, or sponsors. Y'all, they are not handouts. If we start changing our mindset, this is not a handout, y'all. This is not a handout, y'all. This is not a handout. You're saying, I believe in this person or this organization or this community's work. Y'all, it is not a handout. Change that mindset. You're saying, I'm building, I'm investing, I'm coming alongside of you to do the work that you are doing. All right, and then finally we have the ask. We have the ask. And when you're putting everything together, whether it's a grant or a donation or a seed or a sponsorship, there is an ask. The ask is key. You have to ask people for what it is that you're seeking. You have to ask them. You cannot be afraid of it. You cannot hide behind anybody from it. You have to ask. You have to ask. You have to ask to be a sponsor, Gail. I have people looking at you. Yep. Thank you, Demia. And Demia is always, we also have to give people information. When you hear somebody looking for somebody, say, oh yeah, Demia does that. She's a consultant. Here's her information. Here, and don't even leave it at that. Here, let me send y'all a text message to connect each other. Y'all, that's what we have to do. We are having to be connectors. Yes, Mary, the ask is critical. The ask. What does an ask look like? What does an ask look like? And I wrote this down because I wanted to make sure I did everything that the millennials saying. So y'all can stop texting me over here. The ask would be, hi, I am Gail Dudley. I am the host of News in Motion. I'm asking you to come alongside me and the millennial team by becoming a sponsor. You can do that by sending your product along with the cost of promoting your product during our broadcast. We have 3 packages. That's what they wrote. Let me give it in my language. My language is, y'all know this is News in Motion. Y'all know what we're doing. We are beyond 130 episodes. We're here Monday through Friday. We're doing tons of research. We're digging. We're up late at night to bring you relevant information and make sure that it's truth. It's truth mixed with the call to action along with the inspirational message. We need your support. Here's how you can support. You can send a cash app to the $MIM Today. That stands for Ministry in Motion Today, TODAY. Or you can inbox us and I'll tell you how you can Zelle us or send us a check. Y'all, that's an ask. That's an ask. If you have a business and you want to sponsor with us, hey, we welcome that. We will share with you and send you the information of how you can become a sponsor. There are 3 packages. There are 3 ways you can do that. That's an ask. Somebody else may do an ask and say, hey, I'm Mike Nicholson with Hip Hop Fitness. I'm also doing a new blog and podcast. I need sponsorships to keep it on the air. One way of doing that is by sending X, whatever that is that Mike Nicholson would do. I think so many people think that all of this is free, y'all. It's not free. So you may say, well, I can see news on the television. Somebody's paying for that. You're paying for it through your internet service. You're paying for it through your cable. That's how you're paying for that. But see, we don't connect the dots that way. We're just thinking, oh, I'm just getting something free. No, somebody's paying for that. Podcasts cost money. It costs money to be on the air. Podcasts cost money. It costs money for people to edit it. Podcasts cost money. It costs money. You have the graphic designs to go with it. It costs money, y'all. Nothing is free. Nothing is free. All right, y'all, for the win. Abby Phillips of CNN. She's a political correspondent. She is getting her own show. She's a 32-year-old African-American female. She will launch her show called Inside Politics Sunday. That will begin on January the 24th. She has been promoted to senior political correspondent as well. So for the win, Abby Phillips, CNN political correspondent. Abby Phillips. She's thebomb.com. Check her out on CNN. Inspirational message. We are going to continue with pause and pray. Pause and pray. Pause and pray. 1 John 5:14-15 says, this is the confidence we have in approaching God, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. And if we know that he hears us, whatever we ask, we know that we have not asked, we have what we asked of him. I'll read that again. And if we know that he hears us, whatever we ask, we know that we have what we ask of him. So y'all pause and pray, pause and pray. We're continuing that to the end of this month. The ministry challenge is let's be intentional in praying 3 minutes, 3 times a day. Pray for a worship experience, pray for an encounter with God, pray for mission and ministry, pray for your family, pray for personal needs, and pray for your neighbor. Y'all, we're talking 3 minutes, 3 times a day. I heard from someone yesterday. Someone yesterday said their 3 minutes turned into 30 minutes. See, y'all, that's the point. When you start praying, after you get out there, you just can't stop praying because God begins to reveal things to you. He will begin to allow you to see things that you didn't think you would ever see. So we're going to continue that. We're going to continue that. Some of you may be asking, I see y'all's notes, ladies. Some of you may be asking, I want more of the grants, the donations, the sponsorship, and the ask, what can I do? You can hire me. You can hire me to consult with you to help you do that. So there it is, y'all. Boom. And we went over the time, and I apologize, but it was important for me to get all of this out to you today, y'all. All right, y'all. Something's going to happen today. We know he will be impeached today from the House. It looks like the Senate is okay with it as well. So we don't know what's about to happen. He may be around for 7 more days or he may not. He may not. Everyone be safe out there. There's so much alerts going out talking about how these rioters will begin to occupy cities and Capitol buildings beginning Thursday. They're talking about how they're going to be occupying the highways. So be careful, y'all. Be careful. If you are somewhere alone, let somebody know where you're going this weekend, or actually starting even today. Not to incite fear, but y'all just be aware. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of who may be following you, looking at you, whatever. Don't be paranoid. Just be aware. Let's pray for one another in this community. Again, 3 minutes, 3 times a day. Let's just pray. All right, y'all. I am Gail Dudley with your News in Motion. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Hope you got something out of Wednesday workshop. Hope you got something out of there. Please share this video. Let people know there's some Wednesday workshop content on there that they may need. Just pass it on, pass it on, pass it on. If you have not already subscribed to my YouTube, you can go to youtube.com/Gail Dudley. That is GAIL, D as in David, U, D as in David, LEY. Until tomorrow, right here on Facebook at 7:25 a.m. Eastern Time. You have a great day. Wear your mask, practice social distancing, and wash your hands. I'm out, everybody. Love you. Peace out.